Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live from the Real Talk Studios here in Mountie from New Jersey. I'm Matt Tsutsudi. This is the Penguin-loving Michael Klankoff.
What up?
Right on over there is the Darkwing Brian Daly.
What up?
And behind the board is Mr. Ryan Brodo in his Guinness hockey jersey.
Hello.
Still stealing the show.
Way to ruin a surprise.
You ruined the mystique.
Oh, come on. We already knew what it was.
Oh, yeah.
We knew, they didn't.
Yeah.
By the way, you still need to get in front of that camera.
Yeah, but
Good
that's
point.
the thing, though. They don't know what it looks like.
One
So
day.
the thing is, like, it's more of a tease now that they know what the brand is. Now you're like, oh, now I really got to see what it looks like.
It's like steps.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you gradually will slowly figure it out. Anyway, this is the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com.
Whoa. That was impressive.
Anybody else see that?
Yes.
We're gonna move this.
Although I had my head down. I saw that.
I didn't know it was SeaWorld.
Seriously.
Here comes Shamu.
To Brad Lidge it is. But anyway, so
Did you enjoy your shower? Sorry, that got really weird.
Anyway.
Yeah, please move on.
I was asked how many times
Nope,
you said
just
it, but
move on.
I don't want
Move
to
on.
know, really,
Move
to be
on.
honest. I don't want to know.
Move on.
Anyway, so
You just mute me for like 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
Mute myself.
all right, so unfortunately, I wish we could continue to laugh and have a good time, but I can't because I am living in fucking misery right now.
I can.
Yeah,
Me too.
Meanwhile, these two can fucking walk on sunshine all fucking day long.
I'm walking on a rainbow. Fuck sunshine.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't get sunshine around here anymore.
Are you kidding? You're not walking on a rainbow. You're riding on a fucking beautiful unicorn through the fucking rainbow. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
I did it twice. I turned down the volume again and it went back up.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Highly trained professionals over here. God damn it. Watch
Yes.
it.
Yes,
It
we
was
are.
a good solo. I had to hear it one more time. So.
All right. So with that being said, the Flyers have begun, and unfortunately, after that Vegas opener, man, have they stumbled and bumbled and have just desperately won a few games, but barely have they won a few games against teams really they should have smoked for the better part of if your team is supposedly progressing. Unfortunately, the Flyers have not really gotten off to the start they needed to get to for them to kind of show that the kids are making the right steps moving forward. Yeah, there were some injury problems, Nolan Patrick being an obvious one. That was a nasty injury for him to suffer right now, and it really hurts the team depth-wise. And also JVR, welcome back to Philly, man, and you go and get yourself fucking hurt. Thank you, JVR. You're already paying off big time. Oh, Christ.
That's
such a-
exactly how he wrote it up, too.
Mhm.
Signed lucrative contract in Philly.
Get her.
Get hurt.
Get hurt and sit on my ass and make good money.
Yep.
That's exactly
that's
what
a dream of
fucking
mine.
do.
I still like. That's why I want to hit this lottery, so I can just not have to worry about anything. You know.
Just sit back.
I'll just take
relax.
the out front pay and just that's fine.
And we
That's
will-
fine with me.
Because you know what? The upfront pay you're going to get, even after,
Taxes.
Mr. USA takes, the
What is
taxes
it?
out.
40% they take.
Something like that. That's still
But
going to
even
leave
so,
you with
40% of 900 million right now.
Christ.
I'll take it.
Seriously.
Oh, so
Ay.
with all that being said, hopes and dreams abound of getting millions and millions of
I'm
dollars.
just hopes and dreams abound of the Ducks getting another cup, tying up with the Kings.
Yeah.
And have 2 more than Vegas. But anyway,
It's a good way to look at it.
yeah. So with that being said, hey, at least you could say
Shut up.
Brian, and listen, look at it this way. You can always say you have 1 cup more than the Vegas Golden Knights.
And they
all
could have been tied with you after
Yeah,
one season
all
of
they
existence.
can- all-
Seriously.
All those fuckers.
That's the
Hey,
scary
listen,
part.
Listen, all those fuckers can sport is just a Western Conference championship. You got 2 of those. So you know what? Don't worry about it. Your team's better. Look at it
I
that
already
way.
know this right now.
So anyway,
And we're slowly starting to get people back.
yes. Yeah, but anyway, so the Flyers beginning their regular season run, They had a great opener in Las Vegas. Brian has already lost it. Something happened in the comments. We got to go to it now.
Yeah, so before we go to this, we're going to go right up to the top. David Roska, hello. How you doing, Dave?
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Papa Klinkoff, what's going on?
Hello,
Yo.
Papa Klinkoff.
What's up, Pops?
Frank Vespi, yo, sorry to bother you at work.
Oh, there
When
it
is
is.
Brodo going to do a Vespi? Probably never. David Roska, let's go Ducks. I'm right there with you, brother. Thomas Arnett, Matt, this isn't good for the Flyers right now.
No, unfortunately not. It's a very bad, inconsistent play that I have seen from them right after that Vegas opener. We've only played a solid game against one team, and that's the Vegas Golden Knights.
First game of the year.
First game, and then after that, one of those two games we lost because Marc-Andre Fleury decided to have himself one hell of a day.
Yeah.
And screwed over the Flyers out of what should have been 2 points. But, oh, well, it is what it is, right? Fleury actually did something against the Flyers for once. Who would have fucking thought? But anyway, on top of that, too, inconsistent play from them has just been terrible between bad turnovers, which have been the biggest issue they've had, odd man rushes that have just turned out to be just killers. They desperately had to beat the Ottawa Senators. And, yes, I know the Senators are playing well right now, but think about this. Are the Senators going to be playing this well? Are they going to still be sitting in the spot they're sitting in come the end of the regular season?
I wouldn't think so.
No.
Probably not.
I would hope not with the team. I mean, even Christ,
So-
the owner, GM, whatever the hell it was, he was. We have a team.
Yeah,
So,
we're,
yeah.
we're here, but
we're here.
So let's
So he has nothing.
So let's follow. So humor me a little bit here. Theory would tell you that this is the worst team in the Eastern Conference. They may not be playing like it, but this is a team you should, even though you're going into their building, you should be able to say, "We got this."
Yes.
And yes, we got absolutely smashed by the San Jose Sharks. There is not a positive thing I could take out of that game. Not one positive thing. It was that bad of a performance. But you go up to Ottawa and you struggled against Ottawa. And that makes me cringe because Ottawa is supposed to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference. And you're making them look like a contender in the fucking conference.
Yeah.
And in their division, which should pretty much be a slam dunk. It's either going to Toronto or Tampa. That should be the case out there in the Atlantic. And not only did you struggle against Ottawa, then you face the Florida Panthers. And you're up 5-2. 5-2. This isn't just any random score. You're not up 3-2. You're not up 4-2. You're up 5-2. 3 motherfucking goals you are up by, and it's the third period. And you let them back into the fucking game. You may have won, but the fact that you had to go to overtime and then to a shootout to win your first game on home ice, that scares the shit out of me, because if your team's making progress like we keep saying you are, you should have been able to hold that 5-2 lead and ride that wave out to an eventual 2 points easy.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even fucking do that.
yeah, just be happy they're going through all these growing pains now. I mean, there's still a lot of young guys on the team, most of them playing their first full year with this team. Mistakes are going to happen. Rather them happen now in October than February, March when they're trying to make a playoff push.
That's the silver lining. Yes, that is the silver lining. But the big concern I'm having is that a lot of the vets, there's
That was a big
Saul
thing
tonight.
tonight.
that's
That was
a
a huge thing tonight.
That's
Yeah,
a
Saul
big
tonight,
concern
definitely.
that I'm having right now. I mean, in particular, and this isn't his fault, but Travis Konechny took a little while to get on the scoreboard, but it isn't really his fault. I mean, every time he got a puck past the goalie, he hit the goalie's best friend, and the puck would go out of play. And the only time I could ever blame him was when he missed a wide-open net when Fleury was prone. That's the only time I could say, all right, come on, you should have been able to bury that one. But that's pretty much it. Every other time, it's like, this poor guy can't catch a freaking break. He
Yeah.
even took a puck, I think, to the stomach when it got shot into the Flyers bench. Like, this poor guy has just gotten absolutely
Just
mauled
a
at the
magnet.
beginning of the
Magnet for
season.
the wrong reasons.
I know. But on top of all these things, though, you are right. That is the silver lining. The veterans, though, were a bit of a concern. Drew, not so much. He has been scoring,
he's
and
been
that
doing
isn't a
his
concern.
job.
Jake isn't a concern right now. They've been
Simmons.
doing
Yeah,
what
I
they're
mean,
supposed to do. Simmons
Voracek had a
too.
costly turnover tonight, which
He
really
did,
put the nail in the
yes.
coffin.
That
But
was a problem.
that's one.
That's one, yes, but he's been doing fine
But
other than that.
That's a big one because it was a 4-3 game at that point. Lets it
Oh, it
up
was
right
huge.
behind the net. They
Yeah.
score a goal, go up 5-3 late in the game, and then another turnover, which ended up being costly as well, made it 6-3.
Yes, and
That was the problem. That was the problem since the second period. They go into the break up 2-1.
Yeah.
Everything's looking good for the Flyers. Couple costly turnovers, and Cam Atkinson has 2 goals in the second period.
And
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem too. Is like that is a team you can't put turnovers against. Now here's the thing: Florida did make you pay, but Florida is
not offensively strong as a team like Columbus.
and
so.
they're evenly matched with the Flyers, where it is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Where it comes to what?
I think Florida's just as strong offensively.
As
Well-
Columbus?
Mhm.
I don't think so. There's no way.
Okay. We can go into it later.
That's
but
fine. There's no way.
We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that for later because we will be going through our very, I don't know why the fuck we're doing it early.
Why not?
bracket.
I mean, listen,
why not?
listen, we're still early in the year. We got,
But we'll talk about that in a little bit later on the show. Let's finish up with the Flyers here. But also, I think at the same time too, what I think is really hurting the Flyers too is we've had some issues on defense, and that concerns me big time
That's
right
been
now.
the thing
Well,
for years.
But that's
And
my problem because it shouldn't
it
be
never
a
got
problem
worked.
right now.
It never was
because
worked out.
here's the thing: there is an excuse when you have a Craig Berube coach team with very little to no defensive talent, where Kimmo Timonen's your best D-man and he's pretty much about ready to hang him up. That is when you could say, okay, this team's defense fucking blows. We need to fix it. Now that you've gotten guys like Gostisbehere, now that you've
Yeah.
got guys like Provorov,
Prov, yep.
who has had an absolute terrible start to his season, by the way, between giving a lot of bad giveaways in his zone. On top of it, too, he's had some moments where he's missed his man pretty much completely on a rush. And many times, the guy who's getting beat on those giveaways is Provorov. It's like,
Yeah.
that should not be happening to Provi right now. Like,
No,
there's something
but-
wrong here. He needs to get this fixed right now because that's the problem. Our defense is hinging.
Defense is horrible right now.
And then
But-
that's the thing. It's hinging on these young guys
Exactly.
stepping up to the plate and arriving in the NHL. I will say this. Gostisbehere has done a lot since – I mean, offensively wise,
Well, he's the
still,
best
yeah.
defenseman on that team, and that's the big problem with the Flyers defense right now is that you're relying on how old is he, 24, 25, as your leading defenseman because obviously Andrew McDonald is not a veteran force that is going to be able to teach these guys what they need to do, and that's the big problem with the Flyers defense is they're all young. Like
Yeah.
this team in a couple years is a different story defensively because they'll be set and ready to go, but they can't learn off of your buddy McDonald here.
No.
But that's the main focus is there's too many young defensemen, and it's kind of like they were just placed out there. They're like, all right, just play defense, do what you got to do. But these guys are going up against some of the best players in the league, and it's like,
And listen, and this is why,
know.
and this was going to bring back to my point that I was going to bring up. Thank you for bringing it up for me. One of the things that I wish they had done in the offseason, and they didn't fucking do it, they spent a lot of money to get JVR,
Yeah.
and I understand we needed more scoring depth, and I am perfectly understanding
Yeah.
of that.
No, I
Making
was
the
gonna bring
team
that up,
deadly
too.
offensive is perfectly fine. However, you did not leave enough room, at least in my opinion, to go out and get a legitimate veteran defenseman, even someone who is not necessarily a sexy move. Like, he's
No.
not the big splash. It's not the one where it's like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We just got fucking Shea Weber from the fucking
yeah,
Montreal Canadiens.
like I was gonna
No,
bring
it's
up a
nothing
name
like
I
that.
heard
Yeah.
I heard tonight with the Penguins playing was Ron Hainsey.
Yeah.
It's just a guy that's just I'm here to play defense. Another guy like Roman Pollock. Another guy. I'm just here to play defense. I'm not that flashy guy. That's exactly what they need for this team in order to help these young defensemen. They have no veteran I can't even do
Presence.
Presence. Yes.
Yeah, and I think,
So-
and that was my point. Like, they did not go out and find someone that would have been a better defensive option for leadership-wise.
Exactly.
It didn't have to be a flashy move. Just put the A on this guy because
Yeah.
you want to know why? Because this guy actually has talent,
Mhm.
and better than that, he's not going to have a guy beat him every fucking time he comes into the zone, which McDonald is continuously doing still. Not
Yeah.
much has changed from season to season with this piece of shit. But either way, though, the only negative thing. That's the biggest negative thing I could say about this offseason was, yeah, we went and got JVR. Great for scoring depth. Now that he's hurt, though, what was the fucking point? He'll be back, though. Point is, though, is that if you went and got a vet defenseman out there who would have been a better choice, a more legitimate defensive talent,
Exactly.
could have helped a guy like Gostisbehere 10 times more, probably could be helping Provorov right now. Poor Provy, who's he
Yeah.
got to go to for advice? Gostisbehere is just as new to the league as he is,
Yeah.
pretty much. What's the difference? 2 years?
Yeah.
Tops?
Yeah.
On top of that, too, McDonald? What the fuck is McDonald going to teach you besides how to get
He
beat
might as
on
well
a rush?
be a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what is McDonald going to teach you how to do except turn the fucking puck over? And on top of that, what's Gudis going to teach you? Gudis ain't going to teach you
Forgot that
anything
he was
besides
there.
putting that
He'll
up.
teach you how to get suspended.
Yeah, that's
pretty
about
much.
it.
That's the problem. Those are our veteran defensemen. It's just like, fuck me, man. We got
Yeah.
no veteran depth that we need on this defense right now that's going to teach these young guys how to play proper defense.
Well, here's the problem, and I get what you're saying, but there wasn't many options out there, and the guys that were okay to bring in all got re-signed. They all got re-signed because they didn't want to leave their teams.
That's true. But here's the thing, too. Another thing that I would have said this, if considering the fact that we went and got JVR. Now, I know this would be crazy considering the fact he's playing well now. But then you kind of go back to thinking, maybe we should have considered trading Wayne Simmons. Now, here's the only reason I say that, because we may have gotten a better defensive leader for him. Only with packaging, obviously, with a nice little package we could send out to somebody, like, hey, give us a defenseman that we need, a veteran leader on the defense that would help us, so that way our offense can continue to produce perfectly fine without having to worry about this. Considering the fact we went and got JVR anyway, which would have been able to just fill that void in the first place. So it's like, it almost seems like you would have been able to tip the scale into your favor on defense a little bit more if you had packaged Wayne Simmons in a deal to go get a veteran defensive presence that would have been better for the young guys. That's looking at the glass half full, though. We can't really look back on it that way this time around, but I'm not going to complain too much, though, about the no Wayne Simmons deal because he's playing so well right
he's
now.
playing
I
good.
can't really complain about that.
What has he got? 4 or 5 goals already this
Yeah,
season?
so I
mean,
can't
he's
really
doing his
complain
job.
about that. It's just, I just wish they had gone out there and had tried to make an effort to go get a defensive leader, and they didn't do it. They were sold on sticking with a guy like McDonald, who got hurt at the beginning of the year, and then they brushed him back, by the way.
Yes.
Because obviously
I know you're
he's
happy about
I
that.
actually don't even think that's necessarily true because I heard the Flyers linked to a bunch of defensemen that just didn't pan out. They just wanted to stay put. I mean, aside from Erik Karlsson, Mike Green was linked to the Flyers, stayed in Detroit. John Carlson, we already knew he wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
We knew
which
he wasn't
sucked.
leaving Washington.
No, he was going to get the payday.
Carlson was just a roll of the dice. I mean, they tried to get options, just nothing came up in their favor. And it sucks because they do need that veteran leader. They do need that defenseman that's going to,
Yeah.
be that extra push for these young guys, but they didn't get it.
But
It just wasn't in their favor.
But here's the thing. Here's the silver lining in that, though. For a guy like Shane Gostisbehere, this is a chance for him to officially
Show his worth.
show
Yeah.
that, guess what? Andrew McDonald's the captain of the defense right now. I'm going to be once that piece of shit's out of town. Pretty much. That's what he can say at this moment in time. And so far, he's saying it. Because he's probably the best defenseman the Flyers have currently right now. He's the only one, that, at least in my opinion, who's not only produced on the offensive side of things, he at least is making really solid defensive plays. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it too much. Provy's play's been pretty poor to begin the regular season. That's not good for him. McDonald is who he is. Terrible. And unfortunately, Gudis is who he is. A penalty magnet. So it's kind of it's the position we're in right now. And Sanheim is inexperienced. And that's the best way I could put Sanheim right now, you know?
I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
When the hell did the Flyers sign Calvin Picard?
They did. They
They
claimed
did
him-
it. They claimed him off of waivers
Claimed
just
him
as
off
the
waivers.
season started.
Yeah, they did it right
Because
after training camp.
When I saw that he was the goalie tonight and realized that this is actually his 3rd game that he started, I was kind of confused.
Here's the reason why. So not only did we claim him off waivers, His first official game in a Flyers jersey happened to be when we had that awful fucking game against San Jose. He came in. But his start officially happened in Ottawa. That was his
Okay.
first official start.
Yeah, because I saw that he was 2-0.
Yeah, he won the game in Ottawa, and he won against Florida because Elliott got yanked that night.
Okay.
And and that's the other thing too. I don't blame Elliott for getting yanked in that Florida game because really Florida has very good offensive options. Barkov is the obvious one to throw out there. And no small part did he play in Florida tying that game up. He played pretty much the essential role in Florida tying that game up. And you can't blame Elliott for it because the defense has been terrible in front of him. And if your defense is playing like shit, what's Elliott going to do? Elliott is a good goalie, but
Needs to have a good defense.
he needs to have a good defense on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my biggest problem. That was half the reason why Brizgalov was so terrible in Philadelphia was because our defense fucking blew when he was here. It's just you got to have a better defense, and that is one of the gleaming problems. And our penalty kill still sucks, which is another thing that needs to get corrected again. Just like between the penalty,
Pretty hot tonight.
which
They've been hot. I think they got like 6 or 7 of the last 8
what of the power play?
penalty kill.
Oh, the penalty kill.
Yeah.
Which
Unless
is
you meant to say power play, which I agree needs a lot of help.
yeah. It's just like there's a lot of stuff that still needs work. Again, though.
I mean, which is part of the reason why you bring in JVR to help boost up the power play, but him not being there, it hurts.
Yeah, it does. It fucking kills it at the end of the day. It's just like, Christ, man. Like, between JVR going down and Nolan Patrick going down, too, and that's going to hurt the Flyers more than people realize because Nolan Patrick is a legitimate number 2 option, and unfortunately, he's out right now. And again, it gives an opportunity for somebody to step in like a Jordan Wheel who has done something. He hasn't been completely just there. Wheel scored a goal. He's done something. But overall, though, it's like I would much rather have Patrick back. You know, it's no offense to Wheel. Wheel does do what he can
obviously
when
I'm
he's on the
taking
team.
Nolan Patrick
but you're
over
taking
Jordan
Nolan
Wheel.
Patrick, 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, number 2 overall fucking pick. You know, you take that every day of the week. So it's just the Flyers have had between the injuries, which is just a string of bad luck, you can't really predict that.
I think that's their
just
biggest
happened.
issue.
That is their biggest issue right now is their injury problems, their inconsistent play, which as long as, like you said.
More puck security than anything.
Yes. The thing is, what they did against Vegas, if they can bottle that up and they can figure out, okay, what did we do right against Vegas? Because everything we did right against Vegas is what we have to be doing in every single game. Because they haven't done it against any other team but Vegas. That is it. It's like, well, fuck. Dude.
Yeah, and you already played both games against them this year,
It's
so.
like, well, fuck. Too bad Vegas ain't in the East, is it? Too bad Vegas isn't somewhere in Florida,
They're
right?
fine out west. They could stay out there.
I will tell you, too, talk about a team that stumbled out of the gate. Vegas hasn't done all that well either. Like,
No, which
Jesus
I'm very
Christ
surprised
almighty.
about. I mean, and they're talking about how they're like Max Pacioretty for Thomas Tatar. Obviously, Pacioretty is going to work out
Yeah, of course.
better. I mean, I don't want to get into it because we will later, but Montreal's just been a hell of a surprise right
Yes.
now. Actually, the 3 games that we lost, 2 of them came from them.
So there you go.
I mean, it's just
How many games you got against them? 3 or 4?
I think 4. I think we played them 4 times, but we lost 1 in regulation and we lost the other one in a shootout the other night.
Boy, you wouldn't have even
So.
thought of losing to them in
No,
regulation last year.
Well, no, it's just overall, it's just I didn't expect to lose to them 5-1. Like,
yeah, he's like, where the fuck did this offense
Yes,
come
I'm
from?
like,
From
holy
this team
shit.
that just lost
I mean,
Max Pacioretty.
obviously, I mean, we were having our defensive struggles. We lost Schultz. He was
Ooh,
going to be out for
tough one.
up to 4 months, they're saying.
Yeah.
Christ.
Broke it. It looked like he broke his leg. I think that's
Oh
what it
my
was. So he
God.
had surgery on his leg. So he's out for a little bit. Obviously, Murray was battling a concussion once again. So he missed the last couple games, came back tonight, obviously shut out 37 saves against Toronto, which is a hell of a game. So
I'm kind of offended. Murray got hurt before he played Philly.
yeah,
That's offensive to me,
Usually
honestly.
they
Yeah.
wait until that game.
Yes, usually.
So-
Usually. I'm kind of offended, Murray.
Quite surprised
You
myself.
couldn't wait to get hurt until you played the Flyers. Come
Yeah.
on, man. I have expectations of you. You're
Maybe-
a two-time
maybe he'll
Cup
be
champion
healthy.
for crying out loud.
But we all know that Sullivan will probably start the Smith against the Flyers. So.
Yeah, probably, even if Murray's healthy
Yeah.
completely. Anyway, though, so besides that point, though, silver linings, they are working at the kinks now. It is better to work out them now than later when you desperately need the points. As long as the Flyers don't lose too many games in regulation, if they take enough OTLs like they did last year, they're still breathing. It wouldn't be the biggest worry in the world. As long as they don't lose too many games in regulation. That's the big concern I have when you start working out your kinks early in the season. Like, are you going to lose a lot of games in the in regulation? Or are you going to lose more in OT? Because I would rather have you lose more in OT. So that way we got a point out of it, and on top of it, we can start springboarding again. That would basically be the way I look at it. If we're going to have to hot shot our way into the playoffs, we'll have to hot shot our way back into the playoffs again.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's the beginning of the season. They're working out their kinks. You know, it's going to take time. It's a very young defense, and that's the problem. Once they get the wheels going, they'll be pretty solid.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, there's a lot of injuries to the team. You know, obviously a big one, JVR. So a lot of money's just being left out off the ice. So that doesn't help.
I mean, not everybody can have a 5-1-1 start.
Yeah.
Just saying, throwing it out there. Sorry, I meant to puff my chest a little bit.
Toronto.
Okay,
no.
well, hold on. Like you guys are coming there for me to say it's only the beginning of the season, I'm going to have to remind you it's only the beginning of the season, so relax.
Oh, I know.
I
My
mean,
expectations are not this.
I'm not
My
going to lie.
expectations for this team is so low.
I was very
I'm very
surprised.
happy with the 5-1-1 start.
Yeah, I'm happy for you too as well because I know I was bashing them just a couple weeks ago.
I was bashing them too.
But
It was a bash fest.
I mean,
Let's just call what
I
it
just was
fucking
not
was.
expecting them to start this well. I mean, it's actually phenomenal.
I think it's the young blood. Has much young blood that's up there.
a lot of guys need to prove themselves.
See,
I mean, that's what it is.
See, that's what I was kind of hoping would happen with Philly, with a lot of the veterans gone. It's like, okay, maybe the young guys will start to get that fire under them. It has for the offense.
Yeah.
It didn't for the defense. There's a
well,
difference.
the thing is, with Perry out of the lineup, you know you're going to score now.
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely. We got guys that can actually score. Ben Street, who's a 32-year-old rookie, I believe he is,
Yep.
has 2 goals already. He scored his first NHL goal a couple weeks ago.
How come that name sounds familiar, though?
He's been around.
Okay, that would explain it. All right.
Kiefer Sutherland's a guy who has his first NHL goal. We're still waiting for Sam Steele to get his first NHL goal.
Did you say Kiefer Sutherland?
Did I? I meant Kiefer Sherwood.
Okay.
I probably said Kiefer Sutherland. Jack Bauer?
We got.
Yes, we have Jack Bauer.
Oh, come on. Let's go retro. Let's go Lost Boys on that sucker right there. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean, considering the injuries we have right now, Getzlaf, Perry, Kessler just came back. Kessler has 3 goals since he's been back. Andre Kasha is hurt. He's down and out for a little while. All the injuries, especially with the big names, we shouldn't be playing this well.
Mm-hmm.
Gibson is playing out of his mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Defense has been playing out of their minds. They've had 1 bad period in 7 games.
Well, it shows what the Ducks have done as an organization. They have always secretly stocked themselves up with that young talent because they're consistently making the playoffs. So you would think, oh, okay, that doesn't mean they have probably much in the young department because they're getting the lower picks. Not really, because they keep picking really solid
They
young
took
talent.
Sam Steele in the bottom half of the draft. I want to say 2013.
That could have been.
It was 2013 to 2014. Took him in the bottom of the first round. He was expected to be a top 15 pick, and they got him at the bottom of the first round. And he's shown he can compete in the league. We're still waiting to see if he can score, but he can definitely pass the puck. He's got really good vision.
It's one of those things where, but you know what it was? It was probably that he had a slump, and he slumped at the worst time when scouts were looking, and then they just rated him low.
I think he was hurt.
That too. Okay, so
helped.
that's probably that contributed to it as well. Things like that do that, and it's silly that they really focus so heavily on that. I understand why you worry about an injury though, because same thing with Nolan Patrick. We were worried like, okay, is he going to recover completely from his injury and be ready for the season? He definitely was. You worry about things like that, but the thing is though, it's like you can't immediately make that the reason why you pass on someone. We didn't pass on Patrick. Even though he did recover from an injury. It's like, because that's stupid. You don't pass on the best player available.
No.
And in a lot of ways, I think Sam Steele might be one of those cases where it's just like, well, fuck. We could have picked him, and we didn't fucking pick him. It's like,
Could
well,
have.
yeah, and then you know what?
And he
slipped
dropped
to the
He
Ducks.
Dropped
you know?
to I think it was like 27 or 28 if I remember correctly. But you know, listen. I said a couple weeks ago when we were breaking down the Pacific Division that I think Anaheim is going to be a 4th place team. I think I may have undersold them a little bit.
You're thinking third place?
Yeah, third place. I mean, they could probably make a push for second. I mean, San Jose isn't playing that well. Vegas isn't playing as well as I expected.
Yeah,
Not that I
Vegas
expected
is
them to be like
No.
7-0 out of the gate again,
No.
but this through 7 games, I think Jonathan Gibson played 5 of them. He has yet to let up 2 or more goals. 3 or more
That's
goals.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got a 1.77 goals against average right now through 5 games.
Boy, I cannot wait until Carter Hart comes up for the Flyers.
And
just to say
You
that.
better hope this kid is not a bust because there is so much expectation
Oh,
for
he's
this
got
kid.
so much hype behind him.
But he's been
God.
playing well down in the Phantoms, so far so good.
Well,
We'll
considering
go with
Calvin
that.
Pickard let up 6 goals tonight, you might as well fucking start him. I was hoping to see a lot of Carter Hart comments in our chat tonight.
I haven't seen many.
I haven't seen one tonight.
I haven't even seen any bad goalie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Could it be that the Philadelphia fan base is just not tuning in because they're so fucking pissed off at the Flyers?
yeah, you
Because
gotta-
part of me doesn't think that it's because they don't want to blame the goalie for the loss, because that's usually the first thing they do is immediately blame the goalie for all of our problems.
And why wouldn't you, right, Brodo?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, do I want Pecker to be my goalie? No. I would rather have Carter Hart any day of the fucking week, but at the end of the day, it's like, let him develop. We'll see what happens, and we'll move forward.
I
with
mean,
it.
if the Flyers keep going I've been saying this for a while. If the Flyers go in the direction they go, Carter Hart will be up this season. But if they don't, if they continue to be a playoff team, you're not going to see him.
And why would
he
you?
needs to play every day
Yeah.
for his development. If the Flyers aren't in the playoff picture, yeah, bring him up. Let him play. Let him start. What's it going to hurt? Brian Elliott's done at the end of the year.
True.
I think Stoley's contract's up at the end of the year. He can walk as a restricted free agent.
Or you can even just play games where you say, you know what, we're not even going to keep Pickard. You know what we're going to do? We are going to have Stoley be the backup, Carter's the starter.
Mm-hmm.
You could just go with that because Stoley's already played in a Flyers jersey, so you can play safe with him.
I have a comment I want to get to
Sure.
real quick. My boy Tim.
Timmy.
Tim. He wants to know what my thoughts are from the game last night. Anaheim Ducks played the New York Islanders. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you sick.
No, that didn't make me sick.
So Ducks wound up winning 4-1 overall. Some
That-
really nice goals from, I think one was from Henrique. I think another one, I think Kessler had 2 last night. I can't remember who the 4th one was from. But some puck luck in Adam Henrique's favor, wound up getting him a goal. Loved the deal for Rico last year and paying huge dividends for him.
Kessler had 2.
Who had the 4th?
Lindholm.
Lindholm?
Mhm.
Oh, good. So, overall, I thought the Ducks have been playing phenomenal hockey right now. They played phenomenal hockey again last night. Defense was very stellar in front of Gibson, going pretty much shut out until, I believe it was, what, Tim, the last 35 seconds of the game?
left in the game. And then 5 seconds later, Lindholm
It
put
was
another one up.
phenomenal
so.
goal, or phenomenal game overall.
Yeah.
Fairly flawless, which is kind of what I expected. And you could definitely tell the New York Islanders are missing Jonathan DeFaris. You can tell.
Big
You can
time.
see it in their game.
Big time. I mean, they're 2-3 this season, and just not. I mean, they look okay, but they're not who they used to be. you
No,
know?
they're not. You could see it in their
Well-
play that they're missing their guy.
Well, they're missing the heart and soul of the New York Islanders team, and that was Jonathan DeFaris. So,
It was.
yeah, it's going to take a minute before the Islanders become a threat again. Once they find their next Tavares and don't fuck around with the team and have a terrible organization behind them, they could actually, do something with this with it this time.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, this team, Tim, dude, with the injuries that we have, the fact that they're playing this well and we're 5-1-1 right now, sitting on top of the Pacific, is a beautiful thing, my friend. Is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So, hey, the Ducks
Now,
are doing well
do you
right
sit
now.
on
But-
top of the Pacific, or do you float?
We float.
Okay.
Now, here's my thing, and I really hope there's more Ducks fans listening. How many people hated on Jonathan Gibson's contract extension? Did we talk about that?
Actually, no.
No, but I know he's a great.
I did.
He's a
Great
phenomenal
goalie.
goalie.
I wish you had told me this. Actually, I'm
I think he
surprised.
signed like a 6 or an 8 year contract extension.
Okay, so why
here's
did
the
people
problem.
bash that?
People are bashing Gibson because they don't think he's as good as he is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the Flyers fans here, man. They just
Hold on.
you don't really understand the sport so much, and any goal that goes through is automatically Gibson's fault.
How have you watched a single game when Gibson plays in goal?
Gibson has had shaky games. I'm not gonna. Every goalie has shaky games.
Yeah, and you're right. Quick had shaky fucking games, for crying out loud. I mean, seriously.
Quick didn't look good the other night before he got hurt.
There you go. I mean, just like every goalie had. Broder had a bad day. Wah had a bad day. I mean,
Obviously,
Christ almighty. Wah had a bad game 7, and the Red Wings easily walked into the fucking Stanley Cup Finals
Yeah,
one
I mean,
year. Christ.
They're called bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
They expect the team to go 82-0, and as soon as they get their first loss, no matter how pretty or ugly it is, they're just like, all right, this team sucks.
See,
Trade Gibson, trade Perry, trade Getzlaf, trade Crosby. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So you mean like the Sixers fans after Game 1?
Exactly.
Okay, just making
Bingo.
Sure. I'm just
Bingo.
trying to clarify.
Markel Fultz sucks.
It's for
Get rid of him.
For a friend. For a friend.
Frodo, you want to
Yeah.
field that question?
By the way, they blew out Chicago tonight. So.
Which they should have. And I
Yeah.
saw, and you know what, I'm not going to get into it
Uh-oh.
because
He's grabbing headset.
Oh.
We were about
I
to
wanna
get
hear
his
it,
Frodo
yes.
appearance.
What do you want from me?
Yes! We just wanted to hear your voice. That's all.
Good.
we miss you.
Oh, miss
Listen,
you guys
man,
too. From
let-
over here on this side of the room.
Right.
It's very cold over there.
Listen, you're too far
It
away
is
from
chilly.
me.
You're a little, you're close to the door, so.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a little chilly. over
that
here, too.
draft, man, it's a bitch over there.
It's like
I will
30
say
degrees
one
right now.
thing, and then I'll go back to hockey. Okay.
Okay.
Give
then.
Fultz 20 games. Give this team 20 games. Good night.
Okay.
But you know what though? Him saying that too. It's kind of the same way with the Flyers. Give them 20. We'll see where they're at.
No, I mean
Honestly.
that's the way. That's the way you got it. It's it's just a Philly. I know he doesn't want to keep getting into this, but
That wasn't even that. He thought Matty was going to go back into the Sixers. He's taking his headset off, and he's like, shit.
Hey, I was just putting in like a fucking comment like you see on the fucking YouTube and the Facebook. Christ almighty. I was trying to like give Brodo some like, damn man, he's just dropping some awesome philosophical shit right now, and then you know what? You guys just come over here and shit all over being nice. So fuck that. I'm
I
not gonna be nice
appreciate
no
the
more.
effort, Matty.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Fuck being nice.
It's
It's
just
not,
a-
it doesn't
it's
get
the
you
effort
nothing
that
here.
matters.
it's a Philly thing. All the teams around here are young, so they all got to grow. Obviously, Sixers are still growing, but they're
Processing.
there.
Yeah, they're still
processing since 2014.
Yep.
Looks like the Red Sox are heading to the World Series. I
Are
don't know
they?
what inning it is.
Is it still 1-0?
Devers had a 3-run home run, so it's at least 4-0.
Oh wow.
Well, looks like
Alright.
Boston might add another ring to the collection here. They might catch up with the Yankees before the sauce.
What did I say? Red Sox to the series. You don't believe me? Go look it up.
Yeah, 4-0 Sox right now.
Oh,
Damn
my
it, I just
God.
got booted off Facebook Live. Why?
Boo.
Oh, you know why? Because I'm rooting for the Red Sox. Facebook
that's-
doesn't like the Red Sox.
You know what the
Sox.
funny
We're still here. I'm still here.
Oh my God! Could you imagine
Still
though,
working for me.
It was
guys?
just him.
Oh,
It's
I
just
just
me. I
thought
don't
of
like me.
something. You know what would break the sporting world? If the Red Sox, at any point in time, I don't know if they'll ever do this. I don't think they will. If they ever tied the New York Yankees in World Series, oh my God, the entire sporting world will fucking explode.
Maddie, we won't
It
be
would-
alive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
know.
Well
we wouldn't
past
be.
our
Yeah,
generation.
I
we'd
hope
be
not.
dead. Armageddon would set in officially.
No, listen,
we thought it would happen with the Cubs or the Eagles winning a
Yeah.
Super Bowl or a World Series for the Cubs. No, it would be fucking the Red Sox tying the Yankees in World Series titles.
Do me a favor, Maddie.
Sure.
Hand me those reads. You'll know why in a minute.
Oh, okay.
You'll know why in a
Well,
minute.
then here.
I was gonna say while you have me over here.
Oh, okay then.
Remember I said I had a question for you?
Sure,
My one
go
big
right
question
ahead.
of the week, which is brought to you by Scanzaner Sports Center. You can find them on scanzanersports.com.
Well done.
So, and I told you guys before the show, it's something with the Flyers I've been wondering for years. It's actually very simplistic. It's not that extended of a question.
Okay, then it's not earth-shattering.
The dump and chase.
Mm.
Why?
Because in theory, this is not proven to be an exact science. The theory of the dump and chase is for if you shoot the puck into the zone, the D-man has to turn around and race down to try and catch up with it, but you've already moved
already got
into
the
the
speed,
zone.
yeah.
Yeah, you're already
And
moving
then-
at full speed.
And your job is to get onto the puck and be big onto the puck so that the rest of everybody can catch up with you and you can establish your forecheck.
Okay, great. Second part. Why do the Flyers do it? Because it doesn't work.
Because unfortunately, most coaches, if not all coaches, practice it as a backup plan if carrying it into the zone is not working and it's getting snuffed out or your passes aren't
So
working.
And that's the
obviously
other
both things aren't working right
Yes.
And that's the other reason why
Great.
teams dump and chase too, because carrying it into the zone isn't working. They're playing the blue line tight. You just can't
I
get in
mean,
the zone, so you got to dump it in and you get it deep. You never know what can happen if you get the puck in deep.
It makes sense for teams like the Penguins who have a Carl Hagelin, the Red Wings that have a guy like Dylan Larkin or a McDavid, guys that are speedsters on the ice. You know, because obviously they're going to beat out that defenseman every single time.
Well,
But to me, the Flyers really don't have that speed threat.
They never have.
You know,
At least for a long time.
So that kind of mentality won't really work so much for a team like the Flyers. Because to me, I don't see them as being this fast, speedy kind of team.
that's why I think the dump and chase doesn't work in Philly. But here's the thing. That's why you see them attempt stretch passes a lot
Yeah.
because they realize, okay, we need to cheat the defense. We can't go and dump and chase because unfortunately, even if they do catch up to the puck in time, a lot of times they're not big on it and they get shoved off of it. And before you know it, the forecheck got completely snuffed out. So it really made no difference whatsoever. But that's why you see them try stretch passes all the time. And that's why a lot of the times they do have bad turnovers because many times they try to go for that pretty little pass to try and have someone who's cheating on the defense and they get caught doing it and then the puck's going the other way. And it's like, well, fuck, that didn't work.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's the same problem they run into when they try to go D-man to D-man on their forecheck. And how many times have I seen it where it gets read by someone who's intelligent enough to say, hey, I see D-D. You know what I think is going to happen? I'm pretty sure that one guy's probably going to try and pass it over to his defensive partner. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stand right here in the middle. I'm going to poke check the puck away while he passes it. And I'm going to race right up and split the D. And I have no one stopping me from putting a goal past Elliott or Peckard or whomever the fuck the Flyers are
Whatever
gonna throw in
goalie
that
is
night.
in there
Yeah.
for tonight.
I have seen it so
Tim
many
joined us.
times.
Yes.
I've seen it so many times, tragically, I can see it happening before it fucking happens. That's how bad it is. The Flyers have done it so fucking often. And hell, I think you could probably tell too, because unfortunately one of the teams that does it to us half the time is the fucking Penguins. So it's like you can almost see it happening before it fucking happens, which then begs the question, why pass it so many times when you can just fucking shoot it?
Was that you two doing that?
Maybe.
Well, there's a third party in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got Timmy doing it.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, wait a second, what's happening? And I see you two.
This is why I love Tim. Tim's awesome.
Yeah, man. I had to ask you guys that question because the two things beside the whole goalie and no Stanley Cup thing, that's beside the point,
Those are obvious.
that have infuriated me about the Flyers. And I know the Flyers aren't the only team that does this,
No.
but it's the dump and chase for years, and they don't have the roster or guys to do it. And two, and I know the Flyers aren't the only ones, but it's just something through all organizational changes, through all the roster changes, the whole thing of how they're in the middle of the power play and they just pass. They finesse their way. They try and finesse their way into a goal instead of just putting it on
Yeah.
net. I can remember ever since I was 10, they were doing that.
The
Well,
only
they do that a lot, and they still do that a lot now. But a lot of it is to find and open up a passing lane if there's not one open.
Oh, I understand why they do it. It's just, it's
Believe me,
never.
I know the Penguins finished last season with the best power play, but it is something that drives me nuts when I watch a game because they'll sit a minute and a half just passing it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, just take a shot. Understand there might not be a lane, but we have one man better than you right now.
It's called a
Take a
deflection.
chance.
The
Exactly.
Only good
Just
things
take
can
a
happen if you
chance.
get the puck closer to the net.
Exactly.
The big problem of it is, too, is that because the game is so different than what it was, like you could say 10 years back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were 10 years old, the game was still pretty different even.
Yeah,
game is
still,
so
it
different.
was-
You
it
look
was-
at 5 years back, the
Yeah.
game is so different.
Yeah.
It was like back when, say, a guy like Lindros was playing, or in your case, like Lemieux, you could score more ugly goals than pretty goals. And the reason why you could
Yeah.
is because there really wasn't that much rules on the hitting. There really was no big issue if you got a little close to the goalie. Yes, you couldn't have your skate in the crease still at that time.
Yeah.
But if you got in his kitchen and in his business, no one was really going to call goaltender interference
No,
on you.
not at all, not
you
at
could
all.
do that and get away with it. Hell, you could do it back in 2008 because I remember distinctly when Cristobal Huet was goaltending for the Washington Capitals, and that is a name drop, by the way, folks. And with that being said, Danny Briere, Danny had gotten into a hit with Cristobal Huet. He basically took Huet's pads right from under him. That would have been called goaltender interference in a heartbeat because Mike Richards was shooting at that time. It wasn't called back then.
Yeah.
This was 2008
No,
when that
there's-
wasn't
yeah,
called.
there's also no review and
yeah, and-
challenges.
And on top of that, too, eventually the Flyers came back and scored
Yeah.
because Huet didn't even have his paddle. He wasn't even back in his crease in time, and the Flyers still ended up scoring a goal and tying the game. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't pretty, but it fucking scored at the end of the day.
Benefited them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think that's half the reason why you don't see it as much now,
Yeah.
where you see teams immediately shooting and pouncing on the puck. Also, if you don't have a big body on the line, you're not going to shoot it from the point necessarily because you're afraid of, okay, I don't see a tip option. I don't see a deflection option. I could shoot it in, but it might get blocked, and at the same time, too, it might not get through traffic, and there's not a big body to screen the goalie. There's a lot of things that debate a defenseman for taking a shot immediately to try and set up a rebound or set up some kind of a garbage goal in some way. There's a lot of things that make a D-man hesitate nowadays as compared to back in the day where I'm going to shoot this on net, someone take that motherfucker
on
out
net,
who's
yep.
right in front of the goalie and shoot that puck right in front of the goalie and cherry pick your way to a win.
Well, building off of what you just said, shooting from the point it's not always an option because you don't always have that offensive-minded defenseman that
True.
can take that shot, who knows how to look down and see, oh, the goalie's screened. Oh, I see so and so sitting in front of the net, or it all depends on the team and the scheme and how they built their roster. I mean, Anaheim takes a lot of shots from that can sit in front of the net. They have guys who are offensive-minded that know how to read down and see if that shot's there. If not, there's no need. There's no fear in passing the puck. There should be no
Yeah.
fear in passing the puck.
There shouldn't be, as long as you're passing it intelligently and as long as you have that moment of you have to make a split-second decision, and it's never fun to make a split-second decision. Everybody hates making them. But when you are playing that game and you are seeing that your team's down by 1 goal and you are on a power play, you have to look for a quick sec. I know you're probably going to get checked, but you need to take a look and you need to see what are my options.
I mean, ideally, on the power play, what you want is to take the initial shot from the point, and when you take that initial shot from the point, have the guys on the wing crash the net and try and get that rebound. You don't see a lot of that anymore because you got guys, like I said, looking for a screen, looking for the deflection, like TK's goal tonight.
Yep. And then
It wasn't the power play, but it was a deflection.
You got a lot of
It's just a
guys
tip.
though that are looking for the one-time feed. Obviously, that's where Ovechkin gets all of his goals, and
Giroux.
guy like Giroux,
Giroux.
Malkin. Malkin's a big
But
one-time guy.
here's the thing, though.
Patrick Laine.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Where Malkin and Ovechkin, though, there's one thing they have not in common with Giroux. Giroux, a lot of times, and he still does this, and I love Giroux. I really do, and I'm very happy he's my captain, but by God, when you got the fucking shot, fucking take it. I understand you want to be a captain. I get it, man. You don't want to be a selfish player. There's nothing wrong with that. I applaud that every single time. But if you got the best opportunity and no other better opportunity showed up during that play, you had to take that shot. As a captain, you need to read that play and you need to see, like, all right, they got a good defense set up. I got to take this shot. There's not a better chance we might get. Yeah, we can try and work it, but what happens if they get the puck and they shoot it back down and it's 23 seconds left on the power play? We ain't got enough time to set it back up. It's like, take your chance, make your shot. If you don't do it, who will? And the problem is, maybe nobody else, because it may not happen. that's one thing about Giroux that I don't like is that sometimes he's way too unselfish.
Yeah.
Sometimes be a little bit more selfish. And Ovechkin's the total opposite. He's
yeah,
too selfish.
but
you know?
look at what he does every year. He
Yeah,
wins the Rocket
God
Richard every
almost
single year.
Yeah.
700
So,
goals in his career at 32,
I mean,
33 years old.
It's
and
worked
now
for him.
he's finally got a cup to his name, on top of it.
And-
But to be fair, though, that was a big criticism of Ovechkin for a long time, was that he was way too selfish, and then at times he would disappear in the playoffs. That was a big criticism of him before the cup
because it
came
was
to
it was
Half
an
that is
all
still
me.
true.
Yeah.
It was an all me kind of thing, But now he's got guys around him like Oshie, Kuznetsov,
Yes.
Carlson on defense. So I mean, the team around him is more built. Nick Backstrom too. Can't forget him. So, but I see the same thing that you're saying about Giroux that I say about Crosby as well. I'm like, there's so many opportunities. That's why he went from scoring 40-some goals a year to only scoring about 30 to having 70 assists, though.
Well, here's
And
the thing.
It's just like, just shoot. I know you want to be that guy, to help your teammates, but I'm like, you have the net. Take it.
Yeah, but here's what me personally, this is to me what makes a successful power play. And the Penguins showed it a lot last year. Having a guy who has that vision to make the pass, but can take the shot, but would rather take the pass because he's got a guy that's sitting wide open right there.
Well,
with the net wide open right in front of him.
Oh,
not every guy on the power play can see that.
It's hard.
You need an elite passer to do that.
You do, and I'm not saying that. Like, if it's a no-brainer where you see, like, say, Jake's breaking down and he's got a wide-open net, yeah, you pass that every day because he's got a wide-open shot. You don't try to thread the needle. But at the end of the day, sometimes those plays aren't available, and sometimes I see the Flyers, they still try to look for
No,
it.
they're not. But at the same time, if you have a guy who has that elite vision, a guy like Crosby, he's going to hit it every time. And he does, which is why the Penguins have one of the best power plays last year.
Exactly. I mean, he's on the power play. It's just that he has to feed guys like Malkin, Kessel. You have Hornquist that's usually in the front, which I think might have been switched out with JG. Hornquist has not been playing so well at the beginning of the season. So
I got you. Well, look at it this way, too. The one good thing, though, is that you guys do have big bodies, so you guys don't really need to worry about, like, you guys can score ugly if you need to. You don't have to score pretty. You guys just, unfortunately, you make it look easy. Unfortunately. As for, and it's the same thing in the Ducks. The Ducks don't care if they score pretty. If they got to score ugly, they'll score ugly.
I don't care
all
how
fucking
the
day,
Penguins score a
They
goal.
don't
No,
care,
I mean, that's
Goes
why
in
they
the
have
back of the
guys like
net.
Nick Ritchie and Ryan
Yeah.
Kesslers because those guys, they do that.
And that was one of the things that I've always admired about the Ducks. The Ducks are a hustle team. They're a team that will never stop playing the game to the point where it's just like they could be down 5-1 and it doesn't fucking matter. They could wind up winning the game 6-5. It's that possible for them because of the fact that they have plenty of players that can get in front of the net and be a pain in the ass. They have plenty of shots they got from the point and everything like that. Unfortunately, and the Flyers are developing that, but I think the thing is that the Flyers have a lot of players that like to play a little fancy with the puck. It's like, that's great and all, but the thing is like, sometimes you desperately need to let Nolan Patrick and Wayne Simmons sit in front of a goalie and be a pain in the ass to the point where, hey, they're going to score a very not pretty goal right now, but that's the option you go with because that's what you have to do to win the game. Don't do all this fucking Deacon shit because guess what? What if you don't out-deke the D-man and he gets you? You're fucked because he's going to take it the other way. You got to make a good judgment call when you're handling the puck.
If you're working one-on-one, I understand a deke move.
That's
it's a 50-50 chance. It's a 50-50 chance either way if you do the deke or not because you're playing one-on-one.
But that is.
You come straight in, he poke checks you, he's still going the other way. So it works out. It's a double-edged sword.
It can be, but again, it's just one of those things where it's just like there's just certain things, certain nuances that have to get tightened up that are not there right now. No. However, though, from what I've seen, when it works, man, it fucking works. It's to perfection. So it's like, all right, it's there. You know it's there. You know it's getting worked on. It's just they need to tighten it up because there's plenty of teams that read it very well. It's just like you have to make that a little bit more harder to read. You have to be a little bit more crisper. You get a little bit more crisper on passes and such like that. Maybe 80% of the time you don't get read as well. Or even if you get read, it still works at the end of the day. That's one of the things that I would say is a small criticism, power play wise, I think. And also, even offensive forechecking on that when you get established on the blue line or you don't. You know.
All things Flyers need to work on.
Yes, but
Luckily, it's 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, there's
but-
still 76 games to go for
Well,
them. So
but that's my point, though. It's a good thing that we know what they need to fix now, rather than worry about this.
75. excuse me.
January.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah, it's better to.
Next time,
He
do
colored
that.
it in and everything.
Do that in purple.
That takes some effort right there. Going above and beyond. That's what a producer does.
Well, it's now 3. Do I need to draw a 3?
Yes.
One moment.
And while you're doing that, you might as well get started on the
2 and 1.
Yeah.
I'll make slides.
Yes.
Please.
Please do
Right.
so. All right, but anyway,
The fact
so
that he's actually doing it.
so now that we got that out of the way,
Oh,
so we talked about the Flyers to, I guess, hopefully not a nauseating degree.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, though? It was a good thing we talked about it because we got what they need to work on out of the
Yeah.
way. It's just like, all right, this is what you need to work on. You need to work on this. You need to work on that. You need to work on this. And once you get Nolan Patrick and JVR back, this might be a little bit easier
Yeah,
for
no,
you to
I mean-
accomplish. So
Yeah, and
Yeah, here's-
it hasn't been the offense, though. I mean, listen, 3
No, it
goals should
hasn't
be enough to win a game.
3. I was actually thinking that on my way home too. I was
Yeah,
like, 3
that's
goals
exactly. Yeah.
is enough to win.
fuck, 5 goals should be enough to win a fucking game. Like, seriously. So
It's just
In a league that's supposed to be offensive heavy, it's not. It's a defensive league.
yeah.
Goalies are getting better. 3 goals is more than enough.
Did you
Yeah.
hear that they actually
4
made
goals is more than enough.
You know they made another goalie equipment adjustment again?
Thank you.
They-
No,
they-
I did not. actually.
Apparently they did, and I don't know if it's the pads or a stick or whatever. Either way, all I'm saying is it's like I don't give a
I think it's their pads.
either way though. It's just like why? Like it's just so what? So there's gonna be more 2-1 games. So what? There's gonna be more 1-0 games. I'm like I understand.
People like offense.
Yeah, I
They
get.
want to see the goal score.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
They want the
I
points.
feel
It's
like-
also for fantasy purposes.
I
too,
get it, but
believe.
here's the problem. If you're not going to get the offense, you know what the problem is? Is that you don't really allow too many brawls anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's like you can't have one without the. You either going to have a league that's going to have a lot of fighting, or you're going to have a league with a lot of scoring. If you do not, one
Yeah.
is if with
but either one or the
lacking
other
one,
will.
you got to have the other.
But
you
that's
know?
the thing, though. It will bring in the people, and that's the problem with the NHL is that they, the teams in Canada obviously bring in people. It doesn't matter how
no
bad
matter
they are.
what. Yeah.
But like you got to look at teams like Arizona, Dallas,
Even
the
Vegas.
Panthers.
That's it. That's the whole point
teams
behind it.
that it's like that's why it needs to be kind of a high scoring or let's get the fisticuffs going because that's what's going to bring in the people.
Yeah.
People don't want to pay $95 a ticket for a
well,
1-0
the thing is,
game.
the fisticuffs. It's not.
I don't care
It's just-
so much
it's-
about that anymore. I
No,
just
no,
want to go and
it's
see
just floating-
goals. Like if
right.
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
I'm not.
But there
1-0.
there are fans.
That's
There are
it.
fans out there that still love
Oh,
seeing the
absolutely.
fights. You know what? I like seeing a fight every
You
once
need
in a
one
while.
every once in a while. You have to.
But it's not that league anymore. It's
No.
it's more of a European
but
game.
that-
You still get the heavy hits. You still
Yeah.
get that. You get the pushing and shoving. You just don't see the gloves drop as much.
But that's my point though, and that's why I think that's one of the issues why we run into this problem. Why the league so desperately wants more goal scoring because they realize, well, shit, we're not a fighting league anymore, so we don't have tough guys anymore, or if we do, they don't fight. So it's like, well, we can't bank on that. We can't bring people in because you're gonna see teeth, spit, and shit flying everywhere. We got to have highlights. We got to have great goals being scored every 5 seconds, or other words, we're not going to have an audience. In certain markets, unfortunately, that does ring true. In markets like Philly, you don't really need to worry about it. In markets like Pittsburgh, you don't need to worry about it. Anaheim, maybe. I was trying to see if he was paying attention
Yeah.
because he was looking
I'm
down on his
paying
fucking
attention.
phone. So
I'm paying attention.
When you guys come back from break, I actually thought of another question, something I brought up on Tuesday that I think you 3 guys are the best guys to bring up in front of and get your opinions on.
Sure.
So when you guys come back, I'll ask you that as well.
Sweet.
All right, then.
We'll be here.
Yes.
Good.
We will be here. So, with that, we will head to our break, and when we return, we will talk on Brodo's question. And, gentlemen, I think it's time we go through our very all too early prediction for the Stanley Cup playoffs. You guys down
That'll
with
be
that?
fun.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
All right, then. So that's what we will be doing on the other side. But first, we will talk to you guys about Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. You ever had a pest in your house that, you just want to get rid of, that would make you want to promote animal cruelty to the entire masses? Yeah, I saw you all pointing at me. You guys are really not all that subtle, by the way.
Well, no, you just wanted to see if Brian was paying attention earlier. We wanted to see if you were as well.
I
We're just
see.
testing you.
I
It's fine.
see. Hey, testing
That's
me.
not what I was
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
Oh. Oops.
Whoops.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Gibson Mayer.
All right, Anaheim Ducks and their fraudish fan base.
Ooh.
All right.
We'll get to
I ain't
the
no
other side.
fraud.
With that being said, though, whatever pest you may have in your household, nothing is worse than having a little pest called taxes that roll around every year, and before you know it, Uncle Sam's going to be coming in and taking your hard-earned cash. But here's the problem. You have no choice but to let him take your hard-earned cash, or you might wind up behind bars. So do yourself a favor. Get an accountant. You want to know why? Because filling out taxes yourself is fucking annoying. Go to Gibson Mayer. They'll get everything sorted out. They'll get everything perfect. And by the way, instead of filling it out yourself where you might feel like you're getting gypped, you might actually feel like you're getting overpaid. So think about that. So be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer. This is the Hockey Happy Hour. We'll be right back on the YouTube. If you joined us on Facebook, thank you very much for everyone who commented and joined us, as well as Instagram and Twitter. If you guys wish to join us for the rest, feel free to make the jump to YouTube. Until then, we will see you guys next week. And for the YouTube, we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I'm Matt Sensuti. This is the Penguin-loving Michael Klankoff,
Here I am.
the Darkwing Brian Daly,
I'm hiding.
and right on over there behind the board, who's really hiding, is Mr. Ryan Brodo behind
I'm
the
making
board.
signs. I'm making signs.
That is true.
So
he,
here.
he is now designated the sign guy of A2DRadio.com.
I'm proud. I'm proud.
Yes, yes. Hey, man, you're moving up quick. I will
I
say.
appreciate
man.
it.
Went from host, head producer, now he's the sign guy. Man, some great promotions right there, man. In all under a year, by the way.
Listen, man, it's the most proudest achievement of my life.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Like that hockey jersey. But anyway.
Good point.
So this portion of the Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com.
Splash zone.
Don't worry, I got it covered this time. We're good.
Good. Good.
So with that, we picked up. We were taking care of the Flyers and going through what they need to work on, and we definitely analyzed the shit out of that. And we also went through the games and what the results were on that one. The Flyers' upcoming game is this Saturday, by the way. It is an afternoon affair. It is at 1 o'clock against the fucking New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I will have to sit and watch this game, and hopefully they can do something. Unfortunately, the Devils are actually playing well, so that's a big problem
They
right
got
now.
their first loss of the season tonight to
Yeah.
Colorado.
So I know how you keep saying that the New Jersey Devils organization is fucking like armpit shit stain, whatever in America.
Because
and
I
all this
hate
other
them.
shit. Understandably so. Cool little story. I was watching. What was I watching? I think I was watching either NHL Now or NHL on the fly. Apparently, the New Jersey Devils had a season ticket holder, had a fan who lost their son. And she continued to be a season ticket holder for the Devils. New Jersey Devils knew about it. So what they did is they presented her on the big screen live at a game a personalized Devils jersey with her son's name on it and his favorite player's number. Guess who the favorite player was?
Broder.
Yep.
I was going to say it's got to be Marty.
So
That's awesome.
it's okay to hate on him, and I love it, but, you know, every organization, you know,
All right.
not really
Well,
a piece of shit.
I will
I
give-
understand. I understand what you're saying, though.
I
I
will
just thought it
give-
was a cool story.
I'll give them that. That is a very nice thing that they did.
I do like
I still
what they
hate them,
do,
though.
though.
That's fine. I'm not expecting you to like him after
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying.
Every home
I just
game,
thought you liked that.
they
like that.
they honor a vet. So
Mhm.
it's one of my favorite things when I'm at their stadium that they get to do. You know, everybody's always on their
Everybody's
arena
on should do that.
Yeah, they're all on their feet. You know,
Well, if
clapping for him.
you don't get on your feet for when a veteran comes home
Yeah.
and is greeting his family, then you basically are just not human.
Yeah,
You're just some fucking
absolutely.
alien from another planet, or you're just
Yeah.
a piece of shit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right.
So you want to get to the super early playoff bracket?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Patience, young
I'm
one.
sorry, I'm
Patience. Mr. Brian Daly has some scores that he's got to run down for all those out there who may not be fans of the Ducks, Penguins, and Flyers right now.
Yeah, NHL app's taking a little while to load. Give me
Well, I
one
got
second
you.
here.
You got it?
I got it. We're
Okay.
good.
All right.
All right. So as everybody knows, Flyers lost 6-3.
Yes, unfortunately.
Currently, in the third period, the Boston Bruins are visiting the Edmonton Oilers, and they are tied at 1 apiece. LA Kings have the New York Islanders in town. They're in the first period, tied up at 1 apiece. So Islanders already playing better tonight than they did last night. Currently in the first period, the San Jose Sharks are up 2-0 on the Buffalo Sabres. And now we're getting into the games that finished off already. As we already know, Pittsburgh Penguins won 3-0 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Colorado Avalanche have defeated the New Jersey Devils 5-3.
Oh, good.
Tampa Bay Lightning defeat the Detroit Red Wings by a final of 3-1. The Winnipeg Jets demolished the Vancouver Canucks by a final score of 4-1. And the surprising Arizona Coyotes defeat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1.
Bingo.
All right, then. That's
Bingo,
definitely a
bango.
surprise on that one. If you could have told me what phrase I would have heard this year, I would not have heard Arizona beats Chicago. Who, by the way,
Scoring update: Edmonton Oilers now up 2-1 on the Boston Bruins.
this is why Brodo is the sign guy.
Goal scored by Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You mean one of their top draft picks scored a goal? Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Number 2 on the year
Assisted
for
by
him.
another top draft pick.
Oh, that's pretty much their whole team is just number one. It's the
Well,
first overall.
A couple of
draft
them aren't
picks.
even there anymore.
No,
Hall and
yeah.
Yankopov. And
Unfortunately,
stuff,
I wish Taylor Hall had stayed at
Yakupov
Edmonton.
is still in Colorado.
Yeah.
I think he signed an extension.
Well, I think he's pretty happy there.
Yeah,
And
I'd
also,
take
I
it.
think Taylor Hall's pretty happy where he
New
went
Jersey,
too.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Taylor
God.
Hall getting
Adam
his first of
Larson's
the year.
kicking himself. No, damn it.
But anyway, by the way, speaking of teams that are surprisingly playing really well coming out of the gate, Chicago,
Yeah.
who are up in their season, they are 3-0 right now with only
Well,
2 OTLs on top of that.
And they got the L tonight, so
Well, yeah, but still, though, at the end of the day, though, they were playing pretty well compared to what we thought they were going to be
Yeah.
doing at the beginning of the season. So,
absolutely.
all right, so now that we got the scores out of the way, I think it is time we dive into our brackets. We'll give our early prediction, our way too early prediction for the Stanley Cup Finals. So, gents, what conference do you wish to start in?
Let's go with our town first.
All right, so we're going to go into the East and we're going to go
Yeah.
into the Metro.
From
All
east to
right.
west, you know.
Might as well. Coast to coast we go. And into the Metropolitan Division. And by the standings that we are going by currently, and this is give or take what happens tonight, so bear with us here. Currently, if this was to end today, the Carolina Hurricanes would be winning the Metropolitan Division. Boy, would that be fucking weird if they actually did that
Could
by
you
the end of the
imagine?
regular season.
Jesus Christ.
They would be facing off with the number 1 wild card, not the number 2. And the number 1 wild card in the East currently is the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
So it's a first time you would be facing them since that Eastern Conference
Oh,
final.
wow, yeah, when we swept them to get to the Stanley Cup.
So we are
So-
basing this off of tonight.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
but give or take the results of the
Yeah,
scores,
pending the
basically.
results of
yeah.
Boston right now is down 2-1.
Okay.
So-
But with that being said, though, Carolina and Pittsburgh in their matchup, even though Carolina is playing pretty darn well, I'm still going to go Pittsburgh on this one.
I would too, and I would say it would be a 4-2 series, but I'm not going to get that deep into it. But with our way too early bracket right now, I would say Pittsburgh would take it.
I would also say Pittsburgh in 6. Brian.
It's Pittsburgh in 5.
Okay, so you're only giving them 1 win. All right.
Pittsburgh's flat out better.
Well, I think that's obvious, but I mean,
It's just funny, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with Pittsburgh's win tonight, Carolina didn't play, so that actually puts Pittsburgh in first place.
No. This is already put in.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, rats.
Yeah. So
oh well.
I wish. I mean, thanks.
All right,
Oh.
I'm done for today.
And Brian's just like, oh shucks.
I'm just done for today.
Anyway, so
I
Let's
wish.
Sit here and take a
On to-
nap.
on to our next matchup here in the Metro. The New Jersey Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
That would actually be a hell of a series. I could see that potentially being a series overall down the road.
That could be if everything plays out. I mean, if New Jersey continues to play the way they play, I don't know if necessarily they'd be third. They might wind up being second or something
Yeah.
like that if Washington don't get their shit together. But,
I think this could go 7. I think Columbus would do it.
I would say 7, and I'm going to go Columbus only because of Bobrovsky. That would be my only reason why.
Keith Kincaid's been playing freaking phenomenal, though.
Nothing against him, but I
No.
think Bobrovsky gets the edge.
Nah,
on
yeah,
him.
I definitely give Bobrovsky the upper hand there.
All right, then. Mr. Daly.
I like the Devils.
You like that in
I like
7?
Devils.
Listen, I think it could go
Devils,
either way.
Devils could do it in 7.
Okay.
I like their offense. Their offense has a little bit of
Yeah,
pop to
it's
it
got
this
a nice
year.
spark. Yeah.
Defense is solid as usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the goaltending situation need to get figured out. But other than that, I like the Devils in 7.
All right, then. On to the Atlantic Division, and we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, who would have won the division, against the Ottawa Senators.
It'll Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. So we have a Battle of Ontario here. I'm going to go Toronto. Should I be nice and give Ottawa one game? But a part of me wants to say no, sweep.
Why not? I think it's a sweep.
I would say sweep. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely a sweep.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell the Senators snuck in there.
Yeah. Somehow.
Well, actually, since you made that in the beginning of the show, the Senators right now would be out.
Well, now, but
Yeah,
I said
but
give or take on the results.
with what
so
you have since the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
I was going based on before we got
Yeah.
the points in from today. All right, so the Atlantic Division matchup here, 3-4 would be the Montreal Canadiens, and guess who they're facing?
The old-time rivalry. I love it. I mean, I don't care what the teams look like. I would be a hell of a series.
It would be.
I still think Boston would win in 5, but it would be a hell of a series.
Oh, my God. No, you know what? I'm going to say it would be Boston, but I'll give them 6 because Montreal likes to feed off the energy of a Boston crowd.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Boston.
That's what I was trying to say to you is because things changed because Tampa Bay got into the playoff with what we're doing right now.
No,
Ottawa wouldn't be in it.
Technically, yeah.
Ottawa's not in it. Not according to my standings.
Well,
I
yeah,
know, that's
because
what-
of
it
that's
was
the
pending,
points
yeah.
now being put in from the
Tonight.
results.
Well, then I
tonight.
might as well not even use that.
You could do it for the West.
Uh,
Maddie doesn't have a West.
No, I don't have one yet. I only had time to put in an East.
your cue.
Yeah, so that is the cue on that.
Go look at it.
So with,
Pick up your
Fuck it, I'm done.
so with that being said,
Son of a bitch.
so Daly, real quick before you jump in on the West, Montreal and Boston, what you got? I got Boston in 6. He's got Boston in 5.
I got Boston in 5.
All right then. I'd only say Montreal gets at least one extra win.
Tampa Bay's not missing the playoffs.
Nah, Tampa Bay would never miss the playoffs.
Tampa in
They
real
better
life.
not
I don't know
miss the
how
playoffs.
to.
Look at it this way. In real life, this is not what's going to happen. So we'll put it that way. This
No,
is
this
why
stuff-
it's
hey.
early.
Just look at the fucking top 3 teams in the Pacific. Anaheim, Calgary, and Vancouver. This is not real life.
This is fantasy at best, especially for
Colorado's
Brian.
in
But
second place.
That's what makes this fun.
Colorado's in second place in their division.
Which is something I think we said.
No, I think
We had 'em
St.
third.
Louis only has 1 win. Where? What? What?
Talk about a team that's come out of the gate like shit.
say fucking Louis.
St. Louis sucks right now.
Oh,
Wow,
man.
Florida has no wins. Neither does Detroit. What the
Oh, thank God we beat them then. Christ Almighty.
Florida's
They-
offense
Pinch me.
is really good.
This has got to be a dream. Ooh.
Oh man. Okay.
What?
So we'll leave Brian with that. Let me see if I can put my fucking West here together.
Anybody seen the Chappelle Show? Remember that very first skit they did, the white supremacist,
Oh God.
and the scene where he took his hood off and revealed that he was black, and you had that one person whose head went.
I was
God.
wondering where this was going.
Yeah.
That's what my head just did right now.
Ah.
It just went. Oh,
It's about as
What?
that's about as funny as the
this is like bizarre world.
that's
right now.
about as funny as the skit with the blind black
Oh,
dude who thinks
That's
he's
what I'm
white.
talking about.
That is him.
That's
That is right.
exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I forgot about that. That was funny as shit though. Anyway, all right. So, what we got here in the Central? Yeah, that's what we got in the Central. Anyway,
I got Nashville, Colorado, and Winnipeg in the top 3. The wild card is Chicago and Dallas.
okay. So let me see here. Based upon those standings,
With Anaheim, Calgary, and Vancouver in the Pacific.
okay. So read off Central to me one more time.
Nashville,
Nashville's first,
Colorado,
Colorado,
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Okay.
Colorado Winnipeg would be a great series.
That
I would DVR that entire series and watch it over and over again.
That would be crazy.
That would be
and who
awesome,
is
yeah.
the wild card? How many points does Nashville have compared to Anaheim right now?
Anaheim's up 1.
Okay, so Nashville would face the number 1 wild card. So who's the number 1 wild card in the
Chicago.
West? Chicago.
Oh, wow. Still would be a good series. I mean, you're just looking at these teams. It would.
I'm having massive indigestion right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
Probably getting riled up.
What are you looking at me for?
Hey, listen.
It's all your fault.
Yeah.
I'm just drawing over it. That's all I'm doing.
Come on. Don't pick on our sign guy. God.
He's new.
Listen. Yeah.
It's my first day on the
It's
job.
it's
guys.
his first day. Come on.
Gotta blame somebody.
Save it for the second day.
He doesn't know that he has to do the signs.
My pen ran out of ink.
Man, you've already had a bad first day.
Well, I'm
Between getting yelled at by Brian
Hey,
and
Tommy, quit already.
yeah. We need a new sign, guys. Stat.
That's it. I'm going on strike. Oh, that went pretty far.
That was
that-
impressive.
I
pretty
think
far.
it's
Really
yeah.
far.
I got some distance.
It's
hey,
the breeze you got going over there.
Hey,
It's
man.
will help
That's true.
carry
yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
true. But
I don't even know what's on the other
hey,
side of
hey,
that
where's that Ralph Schmuck who we've been hearing a lot about on Facebook these
Yeah,
days?
he's obsessing over the Lakers right now.
Yeah, who really has a lot.
LeBron has 9
He-
points, so he's sitting there playing with himself.
Apparently, it's been reported.
LeBron.
Yeah, apparently it's been reported he has a Lebron fetish. We don't know, but
Yeah,
still,
there's a lot
it's
in
been
common with him.
reported.
There's a
yeah.
lot in common with him, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
LeBron Alonso.
Anyway, all right. So
I don't know. I don't know.
For anyone who doesn't
Sorry,
know,
I
that's
had
an
a
inside
moment.
joke from his video on the Real Talk group.
Sorry, I had a moment.
Oh, man. That was
I might need to
delusional.
find that video.
what was the Pacific?
The fact that it keeps getting posted with questions and it, just a response that said, I don't know.
I told Ralph, I told you, I said, as soon as you made that video, I was going to make it a thing. Like,
it is
don't,
definitely a thing.
do not
You
test
gotta be
me,
careful what
man.
you put. You gotta be careful what you put on the internet these days.
especially when I'm around.
Oh my god. Okay, so what was the Pacific States? Anaheim, Calgary, and Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
And what was the other wild card?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Okay, so Dallas
Okay.
versus Anaheim. then,
Dallas would be facing Anaheim.
Which I would take
You know
Anaheim.
what? No, I'm taking Dallas.
Oh shit!
Dallas just shit on them. They had a really. Don't look at me like that. Did you watch?
What?
Hold on.
Oh my god!
Did
But
you
look
not-
how
Now, wait.
low-key-
He's,
Hold on.
He's going to argue why his team would lose to a worse team than his.
Did you not? Time.
I'm just watching.
Listen,
I'm
I have.
I don't
I
care
have-
who the Penguins are playing in
Shut
the
up.
first round. I'm taking the Penguins.
So, hold on.
holding.
I'm speechless.
The Dallas Stars just beat the Anaheim Ducks. They didn't just beat them; they beat them. Ducks were up. I believe it was like 3-0 going into the second period. Dallas came back to win it 6-3
Wow.
Christ, that gives me PTSD. I know
with
that.
Jonathan Gibson in net.
Wow.
That's the worst game of his.
Gibbsy had one bad game this season.
I feel bad for Gibby
Christ.
on that one.
How's he on his bounce back games?
Oh, he's been phenomenal.
Hey, look at that. That's one game out of the series.
Yeah, but Dallas, I was going to say.
Oh, no. No!
Here we go. It always happens at the
We
second
only have
half.
3 minutes left.
Oh, relax.
The
ahead.
Stars are better than what their record says, and I keep saying this.
I don't think the Stars
Anaheim
are
isn't
going
to carry this the entire year,
I don't think they'll carry first place, but I still think they'll finish better than the Stars.
but I think the Stars will take them in the playoffs.
I can't take it serious right now because of this music.
You know what? Hold
Block
on.
it out.
Since you guys
You're
are
a former athlete. Block out the background noise.
All right, hold
I
on.
can't, coach. I can't do it.
I have that.
I can't do it anymore.
Can't do it.
I have one, don't I? Yes, I do. Good. All right, so you know what? Since you guys are going opposite ends on this, I'm just going to do a fucking coin flip on it. Fuck it. I don't care. All right, so let's see. Heads, it's the Anaheim Ducks. If it's tails, it's Dallas.
Well, it's heads.
It's heads.
Who was heads? Anaheim.
Anaheim. So
Anaheim wins the series
congratulations.
And I'm what? Look at what I'm wearing.
He just talked about fraudulent fan base.
I'm not fraudulent. I'm realistic.
That needs to be put on a T-shirt. I'm not fraudulent. I'm realistic.
I am.
Oh my god. Okay, so
You know
now
what?
that we've
Fuck you guys.
we're just beating bread daily today with trunches.
Damn it.
Well, usually it's Brodo. Anyway.
I was too busy making signs. By the way, can I have it back? By the way,
Oh yeah, sure.
You have
need
to
it.
point to the two.
And that is also the
ooh.
point of his job. But anyway, so with that being
Got
said,
there.
okay, so real quick, let's go through this. Calgary and Vancouver. I'm gonna go Calgary on that one.
I should like Vancouver. Vancouver's got the edge on Calgary this year in the regular season.
Yeah, it's early though, so I'm gonna say.
I'm going Calgary in 5.
Go Calgary at 5.
I'm gonna go
Why are you yelling?
Because they played one game, and you're like, well,
They
have
played
the upper.
2!
Oh, my God.
They played 2. They had a back-to-back.
a home and home, as they call it in the NHL. Oh. Give us an
Jesus.
extra. Hold
Give you a
on.
minute, I know,
Yeah, give
I
us a
know.
little bit extra.
All right, here you
Keep
go.
track of
There
this,
you
though.
go.
Yeah, we're gonna
Jesus.
need to here. Oh, this went out of control. No shit. Anyway, Calgary and
Heated over here.
It is.
A little warm.
And usually it's between me and you or me and Mikey. Right now it's between you two. This is a rare occasion here. Hey, as I used to say, record-breaking show here on a2jradio.com back in the day.
Indeed.
All right, so Calgary and Vancouver.
Something might get thrown tonight.
Yeah, it already did. This.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, Christ. I'm going to go Calgary in, I'll be fair, 6.
Arming myself just in case.
All right, Calgary in 6.
Uh-oh.
You go, Brian.
Calgary. I got Vancouver in 6.
You almost said Calgary. That's funny as shit. But anyway, on to Central.
What's gonna happen?
Do you want me to check the tape?
gonna
Make
happen.
sure.
On to Central. We have
Say
Nashville.
Vancouver has the edge on Calgary. That's exactly what I said.
Oh my god. Anyway, Nashville and Chicago. This is so funny.
Let's just keep going for crying out loud.
He's so mad right now. Anyway, Nashville
Cue
and
the music.
God damn it.
Nashville and Chicago, for crying out loud.
Nashville.
Nashville, yes. Nashville in a sweep. I'm going to go fuck Chicago. Anyway.
I'll say Nashville in 6.
All right.
5.
5, all right. Winnipeg and Colorado.
Winnipeg in
7. But Winnipeg.
I'm with Mikey on this one. Winnipeg.
All right,
7.
Winnipeg all around. That's the only one we've agreed upon so far, oddly enough.
You know what, Brian? I'll tell you why Colorado will win. No.
Well, fuck your reason.
Hey, listen. What
You're
the?
right.
Hey,
You're an
listen,
idiot.
Mikey. What the fuck is an avalanche?
Well, I can tell you what an avalanche is. I still don't know what the fuck a flyer is other than a piece of paper.
It's
We
a
know
team.
what
Just
a
get
duck
shredded
is.
up like their defense.
It's a. Oh, fuck you.
Whoa. I got to give you that one. That was a good one.
Come on. You were supposed to only. You were only burning daily, and that was
I'm
actually
sorry.
enjoyable. Then you had to
Because we were
fucking
burning
ruin
you.
it.
You
Fuck
think you're
you.
cool because your birds can fly?
Yes. And we're the best team in the league right now.
Oh, here we go.
By the way, how many games are we into the season?
That,
Soak
Tucker's
it in.
7.
Soak it in.
I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
All right, enough. All right, finally, now that we did our series shit, let's just skip the semifinals and the fucking conference finals. Stanley Cup final, just fucking go for it, and who fucking wins?
Toronto versus Winnipeg.
All right, and who wins?
Toronto in
Toronto.
6.
All right.
Why are you talking like that? I want Winnipeg and Pittsburgh.
You sound like Noah.
Penguins.
Bruno takes off the headset.
He just put it.
Oh my God! Now that you say it, I can hear it in my head. Oh God!
That was it. All right. Okay. Finally.
Oh man!
All right.
All right. So my series prediction. My oh, I can just hear it over and over in my head.
Just trying to figure out what's so funny.
Oh man!
Do
Do you not? You never hear Noah talk?
You've been on this station for how long? That's.
Well, you know my
Believe me.
you know I got
I'm
the
a-
Eagles here. The Eagles winning this one by a final score of 35-7. You like that?
Anyway.
.com. You know what, guys? The Phillies had a rough year, but you know what? We can't put it all on Gabe Kapler. Oh, man. We love you, Noah. I don't see you enough anymore.
Oh my God! Yeah, we do not see
Oh,
Noah
I
enough.
miss
Oh
Noah.
my God!
Here on A2DRadio.com.
Yes, the originator of that. Okay, my Stanley Cup
Oh,
final, real
man.
quick. It's Toronto and Winnipeg on that sharp cutoff there of that bed.
It
And-
didn't even require
It was a
Yeah.
cold
a
stop.
fade down.
Oh my God! So Toronto and Winnipeg for me too. I'm gonna say Toronto in fucking 7.
Yeah, I got Winnipeg and give me Winnipeg and Toronto.
Damn,
I
so
like
we got it all
Winnipeg.
around the
Okay.
board?
All right.
Except I'm the only one with the Toronto faith. Okay.
No, I picked Toronto.
Oh, you said
I'm the
Toronto.
only one that
He
doesn't have
went-
any
okay.
faith. I got faith in Winnipeg.
And Noah. But anyway, with that being said,
Hashtag keep the faith in Noah.
yes,
a new
that
one.
that's a good hashtag. Mark that shit down, Brodo.
I'll make sure to send him a fax.
Yes.
We're gonna have a good game on Sunday, guys.
make Noah
game.
make Noah great again. That's what we're hashtagging, folks.
Join me on the fix on Wednesday night at 6.
I still don't think after all these years he knows what show he's on.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
All right, so with that, folks, we will see you all next week.
It's like a freaking sitcom.
We will see you next week for whatever the fuck this was.
All in the family.
Oh, yeah. Maybe American Dad. Who the fuck knows?
I'll
at
ask
this
you that
point?
question next week. So.
Yeah, we ask us that question next week. I forgot he even had a fucking question. Anyway. All right. So anyway, we thank you for joining us here on the YouTube for all this ridiculousness, and we hope to see you next week for more analysis of the wonderful sport of hockey right here on A2DRadio.com.
Oh, good. I got another fucking player hurt in fantasy football.
And we
God
are
damn it.
brought to you by we are brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can call it 856-89
This freaking music.
3434, and you can visit them on the web at www.scansanosports.com. Christ almighty, let's head on home, guys. Last call. We'll see you next week right here
See
on
ya.
A2DRadio.com. Peace, everyone.
Peace out, fam.